for me, I can listen to people like Marvin Gaye, I can listen to people like Aretha Franklin, and a lot of other artists I could mention that you were probably going, who the hell are they? That I don't necessarily just hear their music, I can feel it. And when you can feel somebody's lyric relaying to you, it's quite an emotional feeling for me. And I also think, obviously, with the music and with the love of music that I have for soul, that I think sometimes you can hear a record that you've heard 100 times, but then you hear something different because of the mood that you're in on that day or in that moment, and that throws me into crikey, I've heard this, I've played this record so many times, but I never knew that bit. And that's what I just. But I'm sure a lot of people hear that in different genres of music. But my love has always been the soul, the dancing, and the sweet. It's such a sweetness for me.
And I discovered your show when I was living and working in Poole, Andy.
You did, yeah.
And I've been following your career progress because you've done very, very well. I know. And I don't think many people know, but at one point you were sleeping homeless in the park in Poole, weren't you?
I lived open plan, which I'd like to call it, on Beta Park. I had a nice tree there. Life took a bit of a bad turn for me. I lost my interests in my music at the time, which I'm so grateful that I found again. And all the music that I had at that time turned into beer vouchers. I had a bit of an addiction problem, but you know, I've parked that part of my life. I know it's there. I reflect back on it, and that keeps me where I am today. But yeah, I was living local. You know, I mean, it's an incredible situation that I was living on Beta Park in my open plan field. And ironically, a few years later, after getting cleaned up, I ended up living in quite a beautiful flat just across the road, you know, with the sea views. And then I could see...
You did.
My old bedroom, do you remember those
Andy,
days?
I remember visiting you and having a cup of coffee there. And I
My
thought,
list is there.
I know. It was a change. And,
Yeah.
and now you not only work in a radio station, you work in advertising, media advertising.
Yeah, I work for a media company now. And that's quite interesting, quite exciting. We deal with major high street brands and cologne companies, supermarkets, etc. is where our advertising business goes. And yeah, there was a new door that opened for me. Incredibly lucky, considering, you know, I'd lost everything that I had. Radio, that's why I loved the radio so much. It built me into a new person, or built me into the better person that I was before, I believe. And I just, radio was something that I buried a lot of my stuff in and back into the music, and it helped my life. And I've gone forward to now where I am. As I said, I was lucky in the point that I actually found, or I was kind of found into this job that I have now. And at my age, you know, I thought really kind of career-wise, I was dried up. But you know, I'm 59 years old now, 60 next month. I've made it this far, which is a bloody miracle, because I never expected that to happen in my life. I thought the way my life was going, I'd be dead by the time I was 50, and I'm sure there's people out there who can relate to that. But this has been another turning point in my life where, I've got a new career, and I work for a company. They're brilliant. They look after me. But again, I think it's one of those scenarios that you only get out what you put in, you know.
Well, you put in a lot, Andy. I know, having listened to your show, that as you say, the music and the playlists you put forward have a personal and a very emotive appeal, not just to you but to listeners. And do you want to tell us more about how people can listen to your programme?
Yeah. Well, we're an internet station called soulpowerradio.com. I do a show every Sunday between 6 and 8 called The Soul Revolutions. I do a few extra shows here and there, which I'd done through COVID, up to 4 or 5 shows a week. which was actually saw me through the COVID period, just burying myself into the music, entertaining people, and not only were I entertaining them, but they were keeping me as well because of the feedback. We have a chat room on the station that you can log into, so we can all have a chat, and sometimes it can get a bit raucous on a Sunday afternoon after a few people have been drinking all day, but it's fun. It's fun. And this has enabled me to get back out socially into doing gigs out at Soul Do's, and playing music out to people at different events, which is great. But the station itself, we broadcast every day, all day Saturdays and Sundays, and from lunchtime through till 10 o'clock Monday to Fridays. Very eclectic mix of music, of soul music, jazz, dance, funk, Afro beats. We got some great guys on there who really know their stuff on different genres of soul music, and we're very, very lucky. We're not governed to say you can only play this or you have to make sure that's in your show. We write our own playlists and we do our show of what we want to do, because we've also got young artists out there who are sending me music on regular basis, probably a lot of music actually on a regular basis every week, who are trying to break the scene. All they want is airplay. They want to be noticed. And some of these people are extremely, extremely talented singers and musicians, and they're giving it. They're taking their shot, at becoming not necessarily a pop star, but making music their career. And I know some of these guys are going to end up in 6 months' time, be it whatever they were doing, painting and decorating again or whatever. That's the cruelty of the music industry. But these guys are damn good, and it's a shame. So all they're doing is sending us music. They want us, so we will play a lot of breaking artists and new artists to try and get them onto the music scene where we can. And though we play older stuff and this, that and the other, but we will play the new music of these breaking artists and try and give them that chance.
So in Poole, Andy, is there anybody in Poole in Dorset particularly you would highlight as a up and coming talent?
There's nothing locally at this moment, to be honest with you, and when there is, they normally whisk themselves off to London to the bright lights.
They move away.
Yeah. There's a young lady called Yola, who's in Bristol. She's now getting major radio play from Joe Wiley, which is fantastic. And you can look at other people from America that we've played from our station. A guy called Rashid Ali, who's a great musician, played with many people, played with Earth, Wind and Fire and all the big artists, Curtis Mayfield, Quincy Jones, and I mean, luckily Rashid is a friend of mine now, via what I'm doing, and he's a great singer, musician and artist, but again American based, and a lot of what we're getting is American based, but there is the English based. I mean, if you look at people, there is artists out there which on the soul scene are doing very well for themselves, but not really locally. Most of it is coming out of London or around up north, really.
Right.
That's where it seems to be coming in from.
But you're on your show are making a point of trying to profile people with some ability in the soul music scene. So that is an invaluable service to people who are looking for a break. If it's very difficult to get airtime, then you're giving them a break.
Yeah, we try and do that. We do try and do that and get people out there, and it takes somebody to be behind somebody and give them a push and really plug their music, as Jamie Cullum done for Gregory Porter, if you like. But obviously Jamie Cullum was on a bigger level to our station with being a musician and with mainstream radio. But Gregory Porter is actually a friend of our station. We promoted Gregory, and one of the guys that was on our station is a good friend of Gregory's, and we've always promoted his music. He's made it, and there's stars out there who want to make it, and there's going to be a lot that don't. But we will try to take that new music from a new artist and get it out there as much as we possibly can. And you know, I've sent some stuff to bigger stations that I've been sent because I think it's worth it. And they'll either like it or not like it. It's simple. It's simple, you know. But you know, there's a lot of stuff out there that people don't get the chance to put themselves over, and they're just expressing their passion for music the way we express our passion through our radio work, you know. Yeah, it's a difficult world, the music industry, but everybody knows that. And I, you know, I don't know how to put it really. I think there's a lot of wasted talent, basically, is the best way of putting it, and they're always gonna be, unfortunately, maybe just a pub singer rather than a mainstream artist.
But the thing is to have the passion and love for music and to do it anyway, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, if you haven't got that passion and love, there's no point doing it. You know, I do my time for the radio station, which with a lot of radio stations, smaller stations now, is free. You know, my time is free. But I don't do it for money. I do it for the love of what I do, and of course the love of the music, because I do get this new music. I'm very fortunate in that way, getting sent new music from different promoters, etc., which I can just put out there, you know. But I am a bit of a vinyl junkie, so I like hard copies, and unfortunately a lot of these things are downloads. But hey, you know, hopefully we play their downloads, we plug them out there, and hopefully one day a nice shiny bit of black plastic will turn up in a sleeve for me, you know. And that's kind of the way it works, isn't it? You know, they need that promoting. It's the same as anything. You're not going to get we all need a push. Even if we've got self-motivation, a little bit of help goes a long way.
No, we need a mentor, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. A mentor's a good word. Yeah.
Andy, it's a pleasure talking to you.
Always a pleasure seeing you, Duncan. Thank you for the free coffee. I'll
it's all right.
Let's come again.
We like our coffee. And just to let viewers know that, in fact, we're sitting inside Andy's Saab because it's raining outside in Poole, but this is Andy's car, and for a man who used to sleep in a park, he's done very, very well indeed. So Andy, thank you for the time.
Always a pleasure, Duncan. Nice to see you.
Cheers,
Thank
mate.
you.
You have a good day.